The biggest complaint I hear about calisthenics is that it's too hard to bulk up with it, or that the bodyweight progressions are overly complicated. Whether you're a calisthenics athlete who wants to bulk up, or you're a seasoned gym rat who just wants to add some bodyweight training into your daily workouts, I will give you a straightforward exercise progression system to help you target the lats and build muscle with calisthenics more effectively. I will also explain which gym exercises these calisthenics moves replaces. So now moving on to the functions of the lats. The lats are primarily responsible for shoulder extension, which is trained primarily during a horizontal pulling movement such as a row, as well as during a pullover. In addition to this, the lats are also responsible for shoulder adduction, which involves pulling your arms to the sides of your body, such as during a pull-up, pull-down, or other vertical pull. The lats are also responsible for internal rotation, or rotating your arms towards the midline of your body, which indicates to me that adding at least one unilateral exercise may be beneficial. Examples of these include a twisting single arm inverted row or a cable row variation. To train the lats effectively, I recommend 3 primary exercises: a vertical pull, a horizontal pull, as well as a straight arm pull. Starting with vertical pulls, we need an exercise that effectively replaces the lat pull down machine, and nothing beats a good old fashioned pull-up variation. Regarding your pull-up grip, close and wide grips will both target the lats, but they do it in different ways. A close grip will target the lats via shoulder extension, and a wider grip will target the lats more through shoulder adduction. If you have access to weights, my favorite vertical pull is a close grip, neutral or underhand weighted chin-up. These are incredibly simple to overload by just adding 1 rep or 2.5 to 5 pounds to a dip bell. If you don't have access to weights, you can do either an ultra wide grip pull-up, which are extremely difficult, or you can do one of my personal favorites, the archer pull-up. To make these exercises easier, they can be performed with your feet on the ground or by using band assistance. Moving on to our horizontal pulling exercises, we need an exercise to replace moves such as bent over row or a chest supported T-bar row. It's worth noting that exercises like bent over rows target the spinal erectors, which are not heavily trained in most calisthenics rowing variations. This means that you're going to have to train the spinal erectors separately, which will be covered in a future video. My favorite horizontal pull is an inverted row with a close grip and your arms tucked in by your sides. You can do these supinated, pronated, or neutral grip depending on your preference. To make inverted rows harder, you can elevate your feet, add weight with a vest, backpack, or dip belt, go 1 arm at a time, or you can progress to a tucked front lever row. You can also add a rotation if you do them 1 arm at a time to really emphasize the peak contraction of the lats. To make these exercises easier, you can wrap a band around your back and attach it to the bar, which will provide assistance at the bottom of the exercise. And for the third exercise, we're going to target the straight arm pulling, which is going to mimic a gym exercise like a dumbbell or cable pullover. As a side note, if you can't perform at least 10 to 15 reps of a bodyweight pull-up, I would ignore straight arm pulling for now and simply focus on increasing your pulling strength. To train straight arm pulls with bodyweight, I recommend front lever pulls, which can be performed with tucked legs or without shoes to make them easier. And to make them harder, you can use ankle weights, a backpack, or a dip bell. Easier options to train straight arm pulling include pullovers on rings, which you can make easier by changing your body angle to be more upright, or by using sliding pullovers done on the floor, which you can perform on your knees to make it easier. And if you choose a front lever row variation as your horizontal pull, I have found that adding a dedicated straight arm pull is no longer necessary, since the front lever portion of a front lever row will already be targeting that straight arm component. As a bonus, to emphasize the lower lats, since they're a weak point on a lot of people's physiques, you want to perform an exercise that causes you to pull your elbows down toward your hip. To do this, you can add a hybrid vertical and horizontal pull, such as a leaning back pull-up, an L-sit pull-up, or my personal favorite, a pull-up with the feet elevated. As always, you can increase difficulty simply by adding weight, or you can reduce the difficulty by adding a band for assistance or keeping your feet on the ground. Regarding how to program these exercises into your routine, I like to train the lats 2 to 3 times per week, with at least a day of rest in between sessions. In addition, you should only do 1 to 2 lat exercises per workout, and I recommend that you experiment with the number of sets you do to make sure that you can recover before your next workout. Regarding reps, I recommend sets of 5 to 10 reps for your primary pulling movement and 5 to 15 reps for your secondary movement, but anywhere from 4 to 35 reps should get the job done and build muscle effectively. For each set you complete, you should go at most 2 reps in reserve to ensure that you're training hard enough to maximize your muscle growth, although I recommend going all the way to failure just to help standardize your exercise tracking. As your reps start to increase past 10 to 15, I strongly recommend you add weight or choose a harder exercise variation. Remember, your goal needs to be to add weight or add a rep over time. So as you can see in this example, throughout the week, I never completed more than 2 distinct exercises for the lats per workout. On the other hand though, I was still able to evenly distribute my weekly volume for vertical pulling, horizontal pulling, as well as my straight arm pulls. I was also able to avoid training the lats on back-to-back day to help reduce fatigue and recover before my next workout. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video where I'm going to cover other muscle groups like the chest, biceps, triceps, and shoulders.